Hello, it is time for the February board meeting update. We actually had a fairly lengthy board meeting this month. Most of it had to do with construction projects that we will start either late spring or early summer here in the ISD. First of all, under consent agenda, we did have bills that were approved that came to $8,918,023.10. That's a little bit more than what we would typically expect for the February board meeting. The reason for that was last month with Christmas coming in and the way the calendar fell, we actually had a shorter month and therefore fewer bills last month that carried over to this month. That's why a little bit larger bills than expected. Also under consent agenda, we have the approval to let bids for the district fire extinguisher service and elevator service for the 15-16 school year. This is something that we do every year. It's just maintenance on all of our fire extinguishers and elevators in the ISD. Under superintendent's report, really I had two main items that I spoke about. The first one was career academies. Earlier this week, I had a chance to go out to each of the three high schools and present on the career academies. Went real well and has been very well received by our public and by our patrons in the ISD. Very excited about that. Also, I talked about the levy. I will start coming around and visiting all of the different schools in the ISD, talking about the April 7th levy that will appear on the ballot. Just a quick review, that is a 24-cent levy for operational purposes. It will raise about $2 million. $1.4 million of that will go to classroom reduction and to make sure our salaries are competitive. $100,000 of that will go to the career academies, and then $500,000, $500,000 will go for HVAC and roof maintenance in the ISD. So I look forward to seeing everyone as I come around to the buildings. Please, if you have any questions on this, feel free to shoot me an email. Under new business, again, it was lengthy. Most of it had to do with repairs that we have in the ISD or maintenance issues. The first one was the approval to accept the proposal for performance maintenance contract to include HVAC work at Jim Bridger Middle School and Proctor Elementary School, and then upgrades to lighting and sound systems at Truman High School, William Chrisman High School, and Van Horn High School. We had the bids come in on this. They came in well. So excited about this. We will have some HVA upgrades, but the main part of this is in our auditoriums at all three high schools. We are going to upgrade all of the lighting and the sound systems in these auditoriums. Number two on new business was the second and final reading of changes to Board of Ed policies. This is a reminder to everyone that any Board of Ed policy that we have actually takes two readings. So the first reading was last month. We have a second reading this month. Also, that goes along with those are regulations, and that was item number 3 under new business. So the regulations really are the fine details that deal with board policy. And those are something that is available to anyone if they ask their building principal, or you can get online to look at the policies at www.isdschools.org. Number 4 on new business was the approval to enter into an agreement with Commerce Bank for financing of the projects for the performance contracting equipment. This goes back to item number 1, all of the improvements that we're making to HVAC units in the school district and the lighting systems and sound systems in our auditorium. This is the finance mechanism that allows us to do that. Number 5 under new business is the approval to accept bids for partial roof replacement at Henley Aquatic Center, Sycamore Hills Elementary, Nowlin Middle School, Van Horn High School, and then HVAC improvements at Bryant Elementary and Mill Creek Elementary. This is part of our ongoing maintenance that we do within the ISD. We try to rotate those roofing and HVAC maintenance issues throughout the school district to make sure that we keep on top of that and we don't have issues throughout the school year. Number 6 is the approval to accept the bids for the Truman High School stadium renovation. This is phase 1. I've talked about this several times at board meetings. We let bids and now we're to the point where we can accept them. Last month we approved for the new bleachers that will go in. This part is the dirt work that will occur in digging out part of the embankment on the west end of the stadium and really to the north side. We will add additional bleachers there. So again, this is mostly the dirt and concrete work that go along with this project. Number 7 is the approval to accept the bid for contractors for the William Chrisman High School locker room renovation and athletic bleachers. At Chrisman, we are going to take basically the storage shed that's on the football field and turn that into a locker room that will be used by the football team in the fall, but also the girls track team and the girls soccer team in the spring. This will allow us more space for our teams and certainly upgrade what we have currently. Number 8 is the approval to accept the bid for contractors for the Innovation Center tenant finish. As many of you may know, central office, really the whole building is called the Innovation Center. So within the Innovation Center we have the district offices, but we also have tenant space that we rent out, and this is a chance to expand some of that area. We do have a tenant that is looking to expand their business, so the lease that they will sign will actually pay for these repairs over the course of 10 years. Number 9 is the approval of employment work calendars for the 15-16 school year. Last month we approved next year's calendar. These are the 10, 11, and 12-month contracts that go along with the employment calendar that we approved last month, and also the school calendar. So mostly administrators that work either 10, 11, or 12-month contracts, this just states when their work days start, what vacation days they have, and then when their summer vacation. And number 10 is the approval of the FY15 budget amendments. Very lengthy document. We typically do budget amendments twice a year at a minimum. This year we'll actually probably do 3 budget amendments. This budget amendment cycle mostly has to do with grants. So anytime that we get a grant that we did not know we were going to receive at the beginning of the fiscal year, we have to go back in and do budget amendments both for the revenue that we're receiving for the grant, but also for the expenditures. And the last item we have is number 11, the approval of preliminary budgets for ordering supplies for the 15-16 school year. I know it's only February, but we have to start thinking about next year already. So part of Missouri statute says that for us to order supplies that will be used next year, the board has to approve that. So what we do is we take our expected expenditures and then we establish half of that, and we release that money so buildings can start ordering supplies for next year. So with that, like I said, it was a fairly lengthy meeting, mostly due to building projects. But excited how things are going in the ISD. It won't be long until we start EOC and MAP testing, and I'm extremely pleased with what I continue to see in the classrooms. And for all of you, thank you for what you do, and have a great February.